In 1993, Robert Spangler pushed his wife Donna off the side of the Grand Canyon, but police ruled her end accidental. Years later, after he was diagnosed with terminal cancer, Spangler confessed not only to Donna's murder, but to eliminating his first wife and their 2 children in 1978. Leap Castle in Ireland is known for its bloody past, and perhaps the most disturbing feature is a room off of the bloody chapel known as the Oubliette. This room was a dungeon of sorts, and 3 cartloads of human skeletons were removed from the Oubliette when it was finally cleaned out after a century. Hatch door number 13, lying deep within the hull of the Queen Mary, is said to be haunted by a young man who was crushed in the watertight door in 1966. Staff have seen a man in blue overalls out of the corner of their eye near the door. They have also heard running and whistling near hatch door number 13, and even had greasy fingerprints appear on their faces out of nowhere. In 1483, Princes Edward and Richard, ages 12 and 9, respectively, became heirs to the throne of England, but they were quickly placed in the Tower of London by their guardian and uncle, Richard III. The boys were never seen again, and Richard proclaimed himself King of England. What became of the boys' remains is still a mystery to this day. In 2004, a German man visiting the pyramids stole a relic from the Valley of the Kings as a souvenir, but he quickly regretted it. The man's family reported that he developed a fever after returning home, followed by paralysis and finally death, which the family blamed on the relic being cursed. In the Middle Ages, a rumor began that there was a door to hell beneath the Colosseum where the souls of dead gladiators crossed over to the underworld. The Colosseum has a long history of spiritual and occult legends, including being a temple for Beelzebub. "15 visitors to the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in Dubai, found themselves in a horror movie scenario as their elevator stopped 124 stories above ground, went completely dark, and began to fall before the brakes brought it to a jarring halt. It took 45 minutes to rescue the victims, and the Burj Khalifa immediately closed just a month after its grand opening. Las Vegas has a number of haunted hotels, and the Tropicana holds the distinction of being home to a, reportedly, cursed tiki mask. Guests have reported a purple haze in photos taken with the mask, and those bold enough to touch it have supposedly developed purple rashes. The mask is currently in storage. The Alhambra in Granada, Spain, is home to many legends, including that of 7 elves who appear every century, 1792, 1892, and 1992, so far, hoping to reclaim the land that once belonged to them. Over the centuries, townspeople have reported seeing the elves in white robes and hearing their cries at night. There are countless myths and theories about the creation and purpose of Stonehenge, but one undeniable fact is the excavation of a decapitated skeleton in 1923. But even the skeleton is a mystery, since it could have been buried there anywhere from the 1st century BC up until 1000 AD. Before being designated as the building site for the Statue of Liberty in 1877, Bedloe Island had long been a quarantine station for individuals with smallpox and other communicable diseases. While patients were forced to stay on the island as far back as 1738, a proper hospital to actually care for them wasn't built until 1755, and the total number of casualties remains a mystery. In 1912, Franz Reichelt, a tailor by trade, invented what he called the parachute suit and boldly tested it by jumping off the Eiffel Tower at a height of 187 feet. Reichelt's invention failed to work as planned, and a horrified crowd watched the man fall to his death. During the Ming Dynasty, engineer Yi Kaizhan was coerced by his foreman to calculate the exact number of bricks he needed to build his section of the Great Wall of China. If he miscalculated by even one brick, his foreman would condemn him and his fellow workers to 3 years of hard labor. Yi determined he would need 99,999 bricks to complete his section, but once the wall was constructed, a workman found one unused stone. When Yi's foreman questioned him about the leftover brick, Yi said something supernatural placed it there, and moving it would cause the entire wall to crumble. The brick still sits in that same spot to this day. Richard Ramirez, more commonly known as the Night Stalker, terrorized the San Francisco Bay Area in the 1980s, often leaving the shoe print of his obvious sneakers at the crime scene. After then-Mayor Dianne Feinstein reported this crucial clue on live television, Ramirez quickly traveled to the Golden Gate Bridge, threw his sneakers into the water, and continued his rampage. The serene Akigahara Forest sits at the foot of Mount Fuji in Japan, and while beautiful, it's the site of countless deaths. Thought to be a place where the sick and elderly came to die centuries ago, the forest has become a destination for people to end their lives, earning it the unsettling moniker of Suicide Forest in popular culture.